It's Will My Craven coming to you with another day with another video. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Leave a comment if you like to. We'll be gladly appreciated. Uh, yeah, so let's, as usual, jump right into it. I normally wouldn't do this type of video on my channel, but considering how much I've seen Morant going down my timeline, I figure I'll cover a little bit of this. Um, which there's a lot of people saying on my timeline on various posts that that are affiliated with the NBA, which has thousands of comments on them. A lot of them, the main thing is being stated that he's about to find himself kicked out of the league. He needs to be suspended. He can't be that STUP um, thuggish bone, all types of comments. And his camp is terrible. He should know better. He needs to cut ties. And it's funny how a lot of people think this stuff, but of course, was he in violation of the league? Technically, no. The league has policies and rules, and which the rules and policies prohibit any NBA player to have a gun on NBA facilities. He was not on NBA. He was not on any of that, and he was not during the course of the season. So technically, he's on his own time. Problem is that all this heat that's going on with him currently, and it happened already before, created an issue. But that's really not the issue because this is why I talk about teaching so much and the stuff that I say with my son, the relationship that we have, and I seen a lot of people were saying his father need to do such and such and such. Let's get to the nitty gritty of this, which a lot of people missing. It doesn't matter what his father does. It really doesn't. Whoever is the male that supersedes everyone in that camp, which means Ja Morant included, needs to gather. They need to, first of all, find out from Ja who all he rocks with. That's the first thing that should happen. Second thing should happen is there needs to be a meeting happen with all of them because people are saying, oh, he cut ties, this and that. No, it don't matter if he do cut ties with the ones that's not right. There still needs to be a meeting happening because what happened in this video is that this guy, as they was in a vibe, in a moment, starts that next thing you know, he's filming it, not realizing what's going on because they're in the heat of this moment that it's feeling real good. Like y'all like to say, we catching a vibe, the energy is great. Mind you, this is a private moment. So a lot of people are upset about a private moment. There would have been no problem, no issue that what Ja was doing was really not an issue. It wasn't an issue at all. The one who he was with, who decides to be careless, not thinking, immature, not on his square, not in control of his emotions, which is what this channel is all about. Really getting control of your emotions. As a man, you need to get control of your emotions. Even as a woman, too, you need to get control of your emotions because your emotions are very vital to us as men, and we need that emotion that y'all bring, but it needs to be tamed and in control of. But this dude turns around, puts Ja all in the shot. Next thing you know, you see the weapon that he has, and then there's a moment after that he realizes, oh man, I shouldn't be doing this. And next thing you know, all of the shots are now facing upward towards the end of the video because he realized I just made a bonehead move and I'm about to cost my boy. This is why an actual meeting needs to take place with his entire camp. Because even if you cut ties with people, you may cause an issue there. Cutting ties with people all abruptly, like, oh no, yeah, no, it's a proper manner of how you got to go about doing everything. But first and foremost, a meeting needs to be taking place within his camp. We're talking about a guy who's not even 26, 27 yet, and which is a known fact that most males don't really gain a significant amount of maturity until they hit their 30s. You're gonna still be doing bonehead stuff. So regardless of the fact, and like I said, I see stuff that people say, oh, his father needs to do so and so. Well, the stuff that I seen and the actions that have happened that we seen from his father don't look like he's more or less going to actually be able to get control of the situation as well. Because I mean, did we not see the whole Shannon Sharp incident between them two? Even though they came to a resolution afterwards, it still tells me that he has a lot of maturing to do as well. I mean, some of how he moves and the stuff I see, man. No, it has to be somebody even older than him, or as not even older, at least at a higher level of maturity and in controlling themselves that can see things happening before they're happening. You got to be in control of your emotions. This is why I created this channel. And this is the second time I'm saying it doing this video. I created this channel. At the second part of it, outside of giving you all the information that I teach my son, is for you all to learn how to be in control of yourself. Not in control of other people, but in control of yourself. And when you're in control of yourself, things move in slow motion. You're catching it. It's like, oh yeah, nah. See, that song called "Jah in the Vein," and because that song caught him in the vein, he wasn't thinking about the whole, okay, the camera going and yeah, and you doing this and like, oh man, nah, I got another situation on my hand because oh boy, you got me, you got us. Wasn't thinking at all, and you. This is why I say you always have to be constantly thinking. You always have to be paying attention. Now it'd been a whole different story, and had John did it a different way, and he did the same thing, which I would have been cracking up, which I think it would have been legendary. My mind would have thought like, you know what, yeah, I do this, I do this same type of deal, but we ain't gonna do it the way y'all think we do it. Matter of fact, I probably would have spent it to like, yeah, they called me 12, and that's what Memphis, and my people from Memphis, they are like, yeah, that's 12, that's 12. I would have hit them with the 12, the police 12, the jury 12, a whole music video dropping that, showing that, all right, we're gonna put this out like it's IG, actually do an IG thing. We filming this over here, but it's actually for a music video. We got the cameras here, 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 and we got all this actually documented. This is an actual music video and a track that I actually dropped, which if I would have been in Josh's shoes, then it would have turned me like, oh, straight man. And I can actually see the whole thing unfolding, how that actually that type of joint would have went, considering the fact like, yeah, you see me back there. Music, that's my lane, yeah. If I pull this up now, you're gonna see Pro Tools back there, and when I be editing videos and other different type of music stuff. So my mind instantly was thinking like, yeah, if he'd have done it that way, it'd been real interesting to see how the NBA would have actually moved, because it's like, wait, hold on. But see, first what I actually had to happen, even in that ordeal, he would have had to have an actual LLC, which would have been smart to do. All right, create my own label, LLC. We gonna do this. I ain't finna give y'all a whole bunch of stuff. But yeah, the label employed me to do this video. We working under them. So I technically this here is the music company that's contracted to do that. This is the video company that's contracted to do that. We actually shot a whole video for this whole ordeal, and what can you say? I'm shooting a video. I'm actually working. this ain't this is actual. This is actual for show, not legit. It's not me actually being out here flying like, oh yeah, yeah, yeah. No, we actually shot a short film, which would have been interesting to see how the league would have responded then if they would have like, oh yeah, we well, actually Memphis, we suspended you. Then that would have created a whole different other problem. But see, this is what I say about people in your camp. If you want to be about doing that kind of stuff, you're like, you got to be smart on how you do things. Which that would have been like, man, that would have been a whole epic ordeal, man. Like I say, the way I saw that, it's so many different parts that I saw in the film that, but that's a whole nother story. The story now is you have to have someone in your camp constantly. This is why I tell my guys it's very important that once you hit a certain age, that you're taking care of your body. You're taking care of your mind, the whole mental and the spiritual. You're taking care of everything. You're paying attention, doing this and that. Why? Because if you have children, you need to be capable of being there and teaching them how to not be in situations like this. Like every single day, there is not a moment I do not waste for it to become a teaching moment for my son to show, okay, hey, you see that? That's what you don't want to do. Now let's analyze that. Why do you think that happened? Oh, okay. So yeah, that's possibly why it happened. So this is how you would counter it. I look for those moments because the moments like Ja and all that crap can come down the line. And it's like, if you don't, this is why I say, well, as men, we have to have tools. It's just an example of having tools. If you don't have the tools, you don't have anything to pull out of the bag to turn around and be able to fix it, tweak it, make sure this ain't happening, or any other preventative measures. You can't, if you don't have the tools, you can't do nothing. This is why I look for moments to teach my son, actual live moments. That way it's like, all right, yeah, I remember hearing that. Oh, yeah, nope, already prepared for it. But if you're not keeping yourself well enough to making sure that you can actually live long enough to be able to teach your kids or your children when those situations come about, or even better yet, teach their friends that they're yoked up to. If you Because they're gonna get yoked up to somebody, you want more or less have to teach them too, because they ain't gonna get everything either from where they come from. So you got to keep giving and keep giving. If you ain't doing this, your children can be subjectable of being in situations like this, and it will turn around and have a negative impact on their life. You got to do the talking. And they can't do the walking if you ain't doing the talking, which means you got to do the teaching in order for them to walk through it. And if you've already lived it, you got to be definitely making sure that you can translate what you've already lived. This is why I look for examples. It's one thing for me to say it, but then to be able to point out examples and then show, like, yeah, this is what I was telling you. Then it's like, all right, okay, you want to test it? All right, let's test it. How'd that feel? How'd that work out? So this is stuff as far as Ja goes. Uh, is it unfortunate? I don't know. I don't know if I can really say it's unfortunate. For the most part, I don't really blame and fault him for this one this time, considering the fact that based on what I saw, he got caught in one of them moments where I don't think he's experienced enough to see this kind of stuff, just based on how he moved. And people are requiring for him to be, but he ain't there. He's just not there. I can tell just by how he moves that there are certain things that he just hasn't been taught. And it's unfortunate, but I mean, that's all of us. There are going to be situations that we may come up on, even including myself, that we just weren't taught that, and we weren't knowledgeable of that, and it got us. So in this situation, man, will he learn? It's possible he'll learn. I mean, it may be a hard lesson, but yeah, you're asking for somebody to be smarter about a situation that they still don't have enough in their tools or reservoir to turn around and dig from and actually get themselves or prevent themselves from being in that situation. It's just not happening. And on top of it, he's already formed a habit. And as I said in a previous video, which may come after this one, that once you form a habit, it's kind of hard to break. You got to, in order to break a habit that you start for 30 days, it's going to take you longer to break that habit than it did for you to start it. So he's accustomed to, having the peace for whatever reason. I mean, he in Memphis. Memphis ain't it's not a nice city. It's not a happy-go-lucky place where you can be carefree. There's some issues that go on there. You know what I'm saying? And I like Memphis when I go there. I love the people who I know there. I mean, there's some good, genuine people there, man. It's still a nice city. It's a big city, just in the U.S. Like the rest of a lot of these other big cities. You got crime there. You got violence there. You got all type of stuff that's happening there, along with the fact that Tennessee's a carry state with no permit required. So, I mean, we don't fully know the details of why he's doing what he's doing, but the fact of the matter is he has heat on him. There's heat on him, and we're saying that he needs somebody in his camp to direct him, but he needs somebody in his camp to direct his entire camp and slowly but surely implement a plan to X out those that need to be X'd out of his camp. Just don't want to do that abruptly because that can cause a whole nother backlash or another issues, especially since, and this is the part where people are saying, oh, cut ties. Cut ties? Okay, let's think about it. If this man is out there, being a little streetish and he got street dudes with him, what happens when you cut those street dudes off and they know that he ain't really about that life and decide they want to flip and turn? This is the part other. This is why I say I stay way moves ahead. Are you all really thinking about? Oh yeah, he needs to cut ties. Are you really thinking about if you cut ties with such and such dude that he may not get emotional, get in his feelings, and decides he want to retaliate and say, I know you ain't really about that life. You hang with me, or you gonna cut me off? You don't know. But this is why I say it needs to be they will say alpha to come in that camp and set order to the whole camp and like, no, this is the way it's going. You all, every last one of y'all on the trial period. If you don't meet such and such by the trial period date, you just getting cut. You getting cut. So I'm giving you an opportunity to sure this up. And even though in the back of my mind, it's like, even though if you sure this up, I'm still cutting you. And I wouldn't let them fully know that, oh, no, you ain't cut. No, you getting cut to some degree. Because basically, this you got to treat this like the feds is on you. Like, what are we doing here? We hot. Basically, right now, Ja is hot. The whole camp hot. And anybody associated to him is hot. And them dollars will get affected. And that's what mainly people looking at. Oh, he ain't gonna have that money. Well, the future dollars is will be getting affected. Because if he do right with his current dollars, he can still be super well off. He can still be super well off and still do whatever he needs to do and move around. He'll just be labeled in a different way. But he'll still be well off. But them future dollars right now that he got going on, those are currently in limbo. We don't know how the situation gonna shake out, but his camp needs to get together with somebody. His camp needs to be gotten together and in line by somebody who's willing enough to put the foot down, sit there and increment a whole plan on how we gonna clean this mess up and we gonna keep this mess at a certain way and at a certain level from here on out. Why? Because we want to do such and such and such and such. And he can bounce back. It's not that hard to really bounce back if you do if you do what it is you need to do. You can bounce back. I mean, we see it all the time. You just gonna have that same stigma that's attached to you. That ain't gonna go nowhere. But because that's how people are. Once they see something, they attach to it. They keep it in their heart. They lock it away, and that's it. That's what you forever be known by. That's why there's people out here that's forever known by, hey, stinky, because you had a moment that you was stinking, or you peed on yourself or whatever, and they call you stinky, and that then stuck with you for the rest of your whole entire life. So just Mike Vick, the dog situation, stuck for him for the rest of his entire life. Ja gonna be more or less stuck with this for the rest of his entire life, but he can technically bounce back from it. Just gotta clean up your camp. Gotta put somebody there who gonna oversee everybody in the camp, and y'all become subject. Question is, are you willing enough to do that and humble yourself? That's a whole another aspect that a lot of people are not willing to do. But with that being said, man, it's Will My Craven. Hit that like, share, subscribe button, and most of all, enjoy the rest of your day. This is Mother's Day, a day that a lot of people observe. I'm not really big on it. I prefer, to celebrate people like that every single day, give them their flowers every single day, acknowledge them in some kind of way, take the time out. Well, even if you ain't doing it every day, you should be doing it at least every week. So, with that being said, enjoy your people, enjoy your family, enjoy them tomorrow, and enjoy them every single day because you don't know when it's their last. And with that being said, be easy.